What's up, my ladies and my gentlemen that are watching this video? How's everybody doing? West Bromwich Albion career mode part, I don't even know. I feel like it's part 71. It could be part 70. I haven't checked before recording this, but we're gonna jump straight in. Part 70, part 71, whichever one it is, that's fine. We're starting off with a match against Manchester United in the Premier League, and this is the lineup we're going with right here. We have 3 matches in this episode. We got Manchester United, we have Southampton, and we have Bournemouth. There we go. And then we also have a Champions League game in there in between, which I ended up simulating because we have already qualified for the Champions League. So I somehow missed them. We're gonna end up with like no Champions League group stage matches because I somehow ended up losing the footage for the Champions League matches. I lost the footage, or I simulated them, and I simulated them if I wasn't qualified. But I mean, I'm rambling, I'm talking a bunch of nonsense. But we did take the lead with our first chance of the game as the ball's crossed across the box, and it goes to the head of Jonathan Lecco, and he scores his 6th goal already this season. I'm proud of him, man. This guy is stepping up. He seems to be kind of just scoring more goals. I think he's scored more goals every season so far in this career mode. So I mean, he could end up scoring 20 goals a season at some point if we go on to 6-7 seasons. He could end up being a top scorer for the team, because he started off, I think his first season he only scored about 4 or 5 goals in the Premier League. Then he went up to score about 8, 9 I think in the second season. Just last season he got his first season where he scored double digits in the Premier League. And this season, getting off to a flyer, 6 goals already. Anthony Martial, as you can see right here, doubled the scoreline, putting us 2-0 up after a nice little decent move, and he gets his 6th goal of the league as well. So he's stepping up as well, because he waited a few, I think he waited about 4 or 5 games, maybe a little bit more, without scoring his first goal for the team. He was playing well while he was waiting, but now he started getting on the score sheet, and he's really dangerous, especially on the counter-attack when we've got him streaking up the left-hand side with his 99 acceleration and shit. He's just dangerous. But Manchester United are trying to get themselves back into the game, and it's Wayne Rooney, the man who's actually doing that, creating the chances for them. He gets a nice little ball across the box. His first touch is really good to take it around the defender, but he can't get it towards the other. If he just shot across goal, he would have had more chance. But Jack Rose isn't going to be beating his near post right there. Manchester United again, this time with a corner, whipping it into the box. Christensen, everyone's trying to get their head on it. Head on it. It eventually falls to James Wilson, who, when I saw the lineup and I saw James Wilson in there, I was just thinking, what the fuck? Because Manchester United on this game, the whole transfer window, Chelsea and Barcelona actually always sign a whole bunch of defenders for whatever reason, and Manchester United always sign a whole bunch of strikers. They got so many strikers, but yet they play in James Wilson up front. Like, what are they doing? But regardless, James Wilson actually gave them a lifeline in that. We created the next chance, however, with some good football. Dele Alli, turning creator, playing a nice little through ball into Brozovic, and his shot saved well by the keeper. Still trying to create chances, and again the ball ends up at Dele Alli's feet. He plays in Sturridge, goes around Daley Blind beautifully, and kills the game off right there with that goal, and then celebrates with his patented little I don't even know what to call that celebration, but look at that beautiful little touch after receiving the ball. Takes it around Daley Blind and then just passes it into the back of the net. We've seen him do that finish so many times this season, that little just pass into the corner, that little pass. That's how I finish now, man. That is so effective on this game. If you get close enough to the keeper and then you literally just tap the shoot button as lightly as you can, and it will just be one of them little tiny pass finishes that the keepers can't seem to handle. And this is the Champions League match we simulated right here as well. I looked at the Champions League group stages, and for some reason I just couldn't be bothered to play the game. And I thought, we've already qualified. We were top of the group, ahead of Barcelona by a point. I think, we were ahead of Barcelona by a point, and I was just thinking, I'm not bothered if we finish top or second. So I simulated it. I simulated it with my second side, and we beat them 1-0. Like, we did not even the second side, really. It was the youth squad. Like we say, you see the names on that team, players like Zumana Gua, who actually got on the score sheet. Ortiz Ramos is in there. Modric, so many young players, and we beat Barcelona at the Hawthorns. I mean, so we've actually done the double on Barcelona this season, because obviously we did beat them. Last episode, I think it was, we beat Barcelona. Yeah, so doing the double of Barcelona, that's lit, especially with the youth squad. But you can see right here, we actually got a match against Bournemouth. And usually when I'm playing Bournemouth, I get off to a really slow start. And you see just a little mesh right there. But I usually get off to a really slow start when I'm playing them away from home, because their stadium is just so different that it just feels so weird. But we get a corner, we're off to a decent start. Martial whips it into the box, trying to get on someone's head. It ends up falling to Gore, who heads it along to Sturridge. His shot is saved by the keeper. It falls to Sturridge, is saved by the keeper again. And Nathan Ake can't head it off the line. So it's another mess. You saw a little bit of a scramble that actually led to the corner right there before another scramble leading to Daniel Sturridge's header being saved, or parried at least, into the path of Nathan Ake. I don't know how he didn't get his head on that to clear it, but the ball ends up in the back of the net and we do take the lead again. I don't know how he didn't clear that. That's crazy. But 29 minutes in, Bournemouth putting up a fight, forcing a good save out of Jack Rose as they come forward and create their first chance of the game. And I don't even know who that is. You still ain't got to face all the players that got a scam face in this game, and you still lacking one. That's crazy. But again, we got another chance. Zamana takes a free kick short to Van der Meer, and his shot from outside the box just crashes off of the crossbar. This guy in his long range shot. Zamana playing a beautiful ball into Daniel Sturridge this time as we're coming forward again. Plays it into Zelalem. He plays it across to Leko, and there's that pass finish, baby. That pass finish right into that bottom corner. I said Gua played the through ball. I don't think he did. I think it was Zelalem who played the through ball. I'm not 100% sure though. But it doesn't matter. Zelalem got the assist in the end as he just powered forward, got the ball from Sturridge, played it across to Goa, and a simple finish into that far post for Jonathan Leko to get himself his second goal of the Premier League campaign. Nasser Chadli came on off the bench afterwards. He played it into Goa, across to Van der Meer, across to Mooney, he pulls it back to Sturridge, and just like that is 4-0, killing the game off again. Daniel Sturridge to get the last laugh. Beautiful football though that we're playing. Beautiful football. I said football. Beautiful football, moving the ball across, back the other way. Beautiful pullback from Ikamonain. Finds Daniel Sturridge inside the box, and Daniel Sturridge scores yet another one. 12 goals in the Premier League campaign already this season. He is just on fire. Victor Moses gets in the act now, getting it off the bench. The ball eventually falls to Anthony Martial, and his shot is saved quite well from the keeper. Moses, trying to do some fancy footwork, but Anthony Martial's shot, like I said, pushed wide by the keeper. And that was all she wrote for that game. A 4-0 victory over Bournemouth. We are just flying so far in this season. Daniel Sturridge getting man of the match. And then we get into some out of match training. Van der Meer still getting all the way. I want to get Van der Meer up to like an 83, maybe 84 this season before I stop training him only and start training some of the other players, because I do want to stop training him, but I do really want to get him into a more respectable overall for my scout future star, the heart and soul of my team. He's become really. Like, we've got Sturridge is the goal scorer, Sturridge is the guy who gets the goals, Dele Alli is the guy who's getting all the plaudits with the fancy stuff, the goals and the assists and that, but Van der Meer really is the heart and soul of the team. The one thing I love about Van der Meer, I don't know what it is, because his stats ain't great. He's got some terrible tackling and defending stats, but this guy seems to win the ball back every time you try. If the opposition has the ball and Van der Meer is chasing them down, he's gonna get that ball. And I don't know what it is. And then his stats ain't great. He's not the fastest in the game, but he feels like it. His dribbling feels great. His long shots ain't great, but they feel great. It's amazing. I don't know what it is about this guy, but he's become just the heart and soul of this team. But playing against Southampton now, Southampton creating the first chance of the game. We get a little bit fortunate as the ball falls to Martial. He squares it to Sturridge, and there you go again. Let me just keep pointing it out. That little pass finish. All I done was tap the button and aim across goal, and we put it into the back of the net. Southampton were really pressuring me for these first 16 minutes, but again, we did get very fortunate for the ball to just fall to Martial right there. But that's something. This goal just shows what I love about this team. The way this team move in the final third, the way they interact and interchange positions, the way Sturridge is just going around that back post after Martial's come inside, and they're just interchanging. Again, you should see it right here, like Dele Alli running, just making that charging run down the middle that I've talked about. Daniel Sturridge coming off the right hand side, making that bending run through the middle. They're all over the place. They interchange, and you see, look at that beautiful through ball inside from Dele Alli, and again that tap finish into that bottom corner, and just like that, we're 2-0 up. So now Southampton have to try and get something back to get back in the game, or I gift it to them. I absolutely gift them a way back into this game just before half-time. In typical fashion, I would love to count how many times I do this in a career mode. Like, my Leicester career mode, I've done this shit a ridiculous amount of times, man. It's crazy, but you see Bezic right there. Bezic is who I was aiming for, and they gave me the dude right in front. and then it ended up being pulled back into the game, and I did pay for it as Shane Long again got his second of the game and brought Southampton level. Them crosses across the box are so hard to deal with, man. I just can't stop them. Charlie Austin puts it across the box. Shane Long just streaks into the box, and Lachey just can't keep up with him. I didn't even mention it when it came up on the screen, but Rick Karsdorp and Van Dijk are going to be out for a while. I think they both had sprained ankles. Was it sprained ankles or something like that? But they are both out for a while. Southampton putting pressure on us now as it comes into the box, and Charlie Austin really should have put that into the back of the net and completely turned it around. But you got to be used to this by now. We're just throwing away 2-goal leads. Dele Alli pulls it back to Martial, now trying to get us back in the lead. 88 minutes on the clock. Look who it is. Bezic just hounding them. Quick free kick really puts them on the back foot. Van der Meer finds Martial. He finds Dele Alli to put us back in the lead. And Dele Alli completely misses the target. I was legit sitting there in front of my screen with my mouth open. Just my jaw dropped that Dele Alli missed that chance. 90th minute to try and get us back in the lead. That quick free kick caught them off guard, but we just couldn't bury our opportunity. But Southampton gifted us another one as Jonathan Lecco steals it from and pulls it back to Daniel Sturridge in the 90th minute. And I mean, if you gonna be mad that this career mode is looking too easy so far this season, you can't even blame me, because it ain't even my fault. Because with the sliders I'm playing with, I mean, there ain't too much I can do, because there ain't no slider that's gonna change that. Like, this game needs a new difficulty. When it's on the hardest difficulty on the game and they're still doing shit like that, like, what the fuck was he doing? And it wouldn't matter if I was 3-0 up and that happened, but come on, that was the difference between me dropping some points and not dropping points. But hey, I ain't even mad, bro. We dominating the Premier League right now. Van der Meer gets some more training. He's up to an 81 overall, looking strong. And because we'd already qualified in first place, I thought, why not simulate this other game with the youth squad again against Braga. And this is what the Premier League table is looking like at the end of this episode. We are top of the league. 39 points. Newcastle closest to us. Chelsea have dropped a lot more points after being undefeated just like 2 episodes ago. They're now 2 draws, 2 losses, also 32 points. And we've scored a whopping 46 goals in 14 games. And that is in no part, why did I say in no part? I mean, in no little part, I guess, down to Daniel Sturridge and Dele Alli, the 2 top scorers in the league. And then you got Martial and Lecco as well just piling on. It's crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, though. Peace.